Should I put my podcast up on YouTube for everyone to listen to? That's a common question that I get asked on this YouTube channel, and I'm going to try and decode it for you coming up next. Hey there, podcaster. My name is the Shan Man, radio broadcaster, podcaster, and a podcast producer. And today's video is powered by Agora Pulse. Today we're talking all about whether or not you should be putting your podcast up on YouTube. Now, when I talk about putting your podcast up on YouTube and what people are telling me on this channel is that they are going to create a video that has a single slide card or a slate card with audio underneath it. And they're doing this because they don't want to pay for services like Libsyn, Blueberry, Podbean, whatever else is out there, okay? And this is a really frustrating statement, or it's just frustrating for me to hear when podcasters say this, and typically it's coming from the hobbyists. And I understand, no disrespect to you, the hobbyist, but this is just something that I don't think that you should be doing at all. I mean, I don't feel that if you can invest in $20 a month for something like Libsyn or Blueberry, then I don't think you should really be podcasting at all, because it's kind of like showing no commitment to being able to create that content every month. Now, I know that's very harsh to say, but that's the reality of it all. Anytime that I've encountered someone who doesn't want to spend money on something and is looking for high results, typically don't get the results that they deserve or they need because they aren't investing in their own podcast. So again, I will tell you this: if you're not investing in the $20 a month plan with something like Libsyn, how committed really are you? You're really going to have to think that through. Now, with respect to YouTube and putting your podcast up on YouTube, there are some downfalls that come with putting your podcast up on YouTube. The first thing that I think we should talk about is your channel and what YouTube is as a platform. We all understand the different platforms and what they do. Twitter is for short form, I guess, short form blogging. It's microblogging. You're putting like 240 characters, 280 characters to express how you feel or to share some type of news out there that you don't really necessarily want to share out on Facebook. Facebook is a little more long form. It's to really deepen the relationship. So when you think about these platforms and what they do, you have to respect what they do, what they are utilized for. And it's no different than YouTube. When people go into something, say like Google, they are looking to search for something. They're looking for the result of something. And since YouTube is owned by Google, it is a search engine. In fact, it is the second largest search engine that is out there. And people go to YouTube to search for certain things, whether it be tutorials, replays of sporting events, maybe it's recipes. But at the end of the day, when people go and they search inside of YouTube, they're looking for the result of something. They're looking to find the result of something. And that result has to be done in like a motion picture. It's got to be like a talking head. It's maybe you and a guest. YouTube doesn't like it when you put a slate card up and have audio embedded underneath, because what happens and what I have heard and what I have read is that YouTube will downrank your channel to where you will not be searched for a certain topic. So what I try to encourage for podcasters who are thinking about doing podcasting or putting their podcast up on YouTube, they need to rethink this, because YouTube is far more powerful than just putting your podcast up on the platform. In fact, when I decided to restart this channel and talk about podcasting, it was an opportunity for me to speak into the camera so you can understand and get to know me a little bit better and understand where I was coming from so that I could help you, the podcaster, get off the ground. But using the platform as a podcasting platform, just as a slate card, was something that I didn't want to do. I wanted to be able for you to see and know and trust me and like me, so that when you started commenting on my YouTube channel or when you started liking the videos, that it sends signals to YouTube saying this is a trusted channel where he provides some type of content that is going to help other people. Now, when you don't get that type of interaction with a podcast, because when you're speaking, you're not speaking directly into the camera. I'm not talking directly to you. It's kind of a generalized way of oratory. You're talking with maybe a guest, or it's just a little bit different. It's not as personalized. But when it's done in a podcasting app, it's known that that's how you're consuming that piece of content. So I don't recommend that you go in and you put your podcast up on YouTube. I know that there's an argument saying, well, there's plenty of podcasters out there that are doing this and they're getting great results. Well, yeah, good for them, and I'm glad they're getting results. I don't know what their situation is, but the channel itself probably is devalued. And I can't speak for sure on that, but I'm pretty sure that is what the case is. Now, when it comes to the statistics of your podcast and how people are listening to your podcast, if you're trying to do it on YouTube, you're going to see not very much in terms of statistics, and I ride on statistics a lot. I look at statistics so I can see where I improve, where I can create better content in those areas. And this goes the same for my clients. I tell them, look, they dropped off at 20 minutes. You might want to think about implementing something brand new. You can see those statistics if you subscribe to something like Libsyn or Blueberry and tie that RSS feed to iTunes, because iTunes will give you the analysis of when people are dropping off. One thing that you got to think about or look at whenever you're putting a podcast on YouTube is that you'll see in the analytics of the video itself that there's a spike in the beginning of your podcast. There'll be a spike of people who have stumbled upon your podcast, and you'll see that they are listening for a certain amount of time and then they just drop off. And these statistics really aren't all that reliable. You got to remember that you're looking at statistics that are about retention of video, not audio. And so that's just something that you need to consider. Now, another argument can be made that, someone like Joe Rogan, he puts his podcast up on YouTube and he does really well. But the difference is that Joe has actually got two talking heads going back and forth, and he can share that out to wherever, and people can share it out as well. And they can listen on YouTube. But we have to also remember that Joe Rogan has been in the industry for 20 plus years, has built an audience in the last 10 on podcasting alone, and he's able to do this. So you, as the beginning podcaster, the beginning business podcaster, this is not a wise thing to do, just to put the audio up there. You should be putting some type of talking head, because that will get shared around. I also know that YouTube may look at the video if they see that you're just uploading a slate card and audio. They may look at that video as spam, as a fake video. So that's just something to be aware of. And like I said in the beginning of this video, if you can't afford the money to get Libsyn for $20 a month, then there's a serious commitment problem that you have with podcasting. You have to understand that you are going to spend money to create a podcast, and there is no way around that. And trying to do it the cheap way is not going to benefit you in any way. So get rid of the Starbucks addiction. Get rid of your cable. If you have more passion for podcasting, get rid of the things that you're not using and put it towards something that you will use, because that will be put better to use, and that will impact the world a lot more if you are putting your thoughts and your ideas and sharing your knowledge with the world and making a difference by spending the money towards something that you are passionate about. Don't make an excuse as to why you can't podcast or can't buy the service. Buy the service and do yourself a favor and make an impact on the world. If you like this video, go ahead and leave it a thumbs up down below if you're watching on YouTube, and make sure that you subscribe if you're just stumbling onto this video. And when you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can hit, and just tap that and that will notify you when I upload a brand new video. And if you missed out on my blog this last week, I posted an entire blog. It's not a video, it's just a blog. It's all about what podcasters ought to know about ranking a podcast in the top 100 of iTunes. I'll go ahead and leave that link in the description down below. Don't forget to leave a comment, and over here on the right hand side, I'm likely going to leave you a very helpful video that you can use if you're a beginning podcaster. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.